A gift worth fighting for. Chapter 1. The fight. Therefore I run thus not with uncertainty. Thus I fight not as one who beats the air. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 26. The fight for our children is not an easy fight. It takes diligence. It takes a will. It takes a particular mindset to win. This battle must be intentional. No one goes to war without a strategic plan for the fight. In our struggle for our children, we must have a strategic plan for their success. We have to consider all sides of the fight to be efficient and to win. When we look at the challenges that our youth are facing throughout their lives, it is going to take more than just preaching to them to bring about change. We must go beyond a speech and have dialogue, a conversation with them. We have to meet them where they are and pull them up from there to a place of success. Several things are necessary to accomplish this. The first thing is children need to know that you care and that you are in it to win it. They need to trust you. Many of our kids often experience people coming in and out of their lives. They are very familiar with people giving up on them when the going gets tough. They are used to not getting another chance. We throw in the towel at the first sign of struggle and leave them to fend for themselves. So to come into the life of a child and say, I'm going to fight with you, means absolutely nothing until you prove to them that you are going to fight with them. Guess what? Our kids, they are going to say things that are going to make us angry. They are going to do things that will disappoint us. You are going to say things to them, and it is going to appear that it went in one ear and out the other. That is the nature of children. They will realize you care when they see you have not left. Remember, they had already experienced someone leaving when they started acting out, but not you. So now you have established trust. At this point, they will open up to you. Now we can attempt to get to the root of the problem, their internal struggle, yes, their fight. We have to keep in mind that they are a gift from God, and we have to fight not only with them, but for them. Must have patience. Patience is going to be key for us not to give up on them. I promise you there will be several moments throughout your fight you will want to give up, especially in those times when it seems like they are not getting it. We cannot give up on them. It will look like you are taken advantage of. You will feel like you are being used. You will also feel like you're not appreciated. Here is why you can be patient. Understand it is not our job to make them change. Let me say that again in case you did not hear me. It is not our job to make them change. It is not our job to change them. It is our job to plant the seed and be an example simply. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 6, one plant and another water, but God is the one who gives the increase. We must trust in God's ability to bring about the change in their lives. Every lesson we give them, every teachable moment we take advantage of, every conversation we have with our kids are all a part of the seed planting process. Keep planting the seed. And while you're doing that, don't give up, because we are trusting God to bring about the increase. Finally, we must have hope. We must always believe that our children will do better and be better. No matter what their situation looks like, no matter how they were raised, no matter what they have done, we must believe that there is a best on the inside of them, and that is why we fight. We are fighting to pull out the best in them. How do we do this? We continually acknowledge the good. We point out and encourage the good things they're doing. It is so easy to see the negative, the rough spots of our children. Everyone typically sees those areas. What they need is for someone to be able to see their greatness. We must speak to that greatness and remind them the things they are doing do not define them. Yes, they may get in trouble often. Yes, they may do wrong often, but they need to be reminded that that is not who they are. We must help them identify their true selves. I must warn you that this fight will get messy. Fighting for our children often involves other people, other influences, and that is where it will become messy. It will seem like the fight isn't fair. It will seem like you're fighting by yourself when you're supposed to be fighting with them. This is temporary. I promise you, just don't give up. I had a young man once live with us. He moved in when he was 15 years old. I called him my nephew, and there were several times I felt like I was fighting for him by myself. It seemed like he was constantly going against me. Have you ever bent over backward to help someone and you felt like you were wasting your time? Yep, that was me. But I stayed in the fight. People called me crazy, but I stayed in the fight. He's 25 years old now, and one day we were on the phone talking. He specifically told me that in those times when it seemed like he wasn't listening, that he was, and that he learned a lot about being a man based on our relationship. This made me proud because I was sure that I had failed this kid, but I didn't. What I saw was God giving the increase. God was causing the seeds that were planted in his heart to grow. Talking about staying in the fight, I am also reminded of a time when I was on the phone with one of the young men from the Distinguished Gentlemen's Club. I was expressing to him how tired I was of the boys not getting it together. I told him I felt as though the young men weren't listening and that I didn't want to do DGC anymore. Then he said to me, OP, which stands for Officer Perry, if you stop doing DGC, all the members will come to your house with picket signs protesting your decision. This was his way of saying, we need you to keep fighting. Children may sometimes appear that they don't want us helping them. In those moments, they are just trying to grow up, and that is okay. We can continue to fight for them in the background. A fight in the background might simply be you praying for them, and you stand ready to help them if the need arises. Just whatever you do, stay in the fight, because you never know the type of influence and impact you are having over their lives.